Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I am excited to have a great friend of mine on for the second time. I'll dive into the reasons why, but as our Realtor of the Week, second time Realtor of the Week, Nick Weis from eXp Realty.
Thanks,
Thank
Mike.
you, my friend.
Thanks for having me again. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure,
Dude.
Mike.
No, I am super excited because as our friendship has built, I've gained so much respect for what you do business-wise, for one, but more importantly, personal. You know what I mean? To watch you grow into this baby is super cool to see, man.
I appreciate that, Mike. And it's mutual because I get to learn more about you, and that's what I love. Not just hanging around other people that are experienced, been in the biz, had their face kicked in a couple times. Like, that's most of my buddies. Anyone that's done something has been kicked in the nuts. They've had their ups and their downs, and, they've evolved. But whenever I'm, it seems like I just pick up the phone and holler at you randomly. We dive into a 40-minute good conversation.
Yeah, but that's what life's about, man. That's
is.
the how we can all help one another grow. Right? And I feed off you guys. I mean, whether it's you or Brady or Jake, these guys, you guys are so energetic. It keeps me moving. And I love that, man. So here's kind of where this thing went from is that, obviously I've known Nick for a while. The guy's massive, right? But he's taken this personal life of lifting to transform himself, not only physically, but business-wise and mentally, because we all know what happens when you succeed in a business and you start making some dough. You can either take it easy or just cruise. Nick, tell us about that transition, man. What made you start to say, whoa, look in the mirror and what do I got to do?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really, that's an in-depth question. So we'll start back at kind of where I started.
Yep.
So I started off, and I just kind of, I got lucky at the end of the day. And I think everyone that has success will say, oh, yeah, maybe some of them won't admit it, but most of my big advances in business have been luck. Granted, I did the work to get lucky, but it's a lot of luck, man. I mean, that's Tony Robbins' brand is, essentially how lucky are you? Do you believe you're lucky?
Yes.
Because if you don't, you're probably not working hard anaugh to be lucky.
Yeah.
So I started off, this is my 5th year licensed, and it's been a total roller coaster, total emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
I mean, financial roller coaster. It's been the most insane personal growth journey. Even, I'd say more so, it ties into my bodybuilding and lifting a lot now that I've really dialed in my lifting. I've seen a lot of similarities between the two. So when I first started, I got in, I came from pretty humble, beginnings.
Yeah.
And had fairly low expectations for what I was going to do. I thought I would do well. I honestly did. Because I'm just going to work until I don't have anything to lose, right? And when I first started, it was 2019, 2020. Rates were low. Rates were dropping. Houses were selling like crazy. And there's a whole different set of challenges that comes with a fast-paced market.
Yep.
But I busted my ass. I cold called like an animal. I was trying to figure out anything and everything that worked because it was just bizarre, right? You remember that? Now, I got birthed into the business the craziest time. So what do you do? I mean, I don't know what I did, 22 or 24 home sales my first year with Jason Stockwell. And I said, Stocky, what do I got to do to sell a bunch of houses?
Yeah,
and he goes, you're not making money if you're not on the phone or doing open houses or anything producing income. If you're not producing income right now, you're leaving potential on the table, essentially.
Yep.
So, but your first 2 or 3 years, it's easy to have that psychotic focus and work ethic.
Yes.
I mean, even people that aren't that inherently hardworking are probably motivated enough to work like a savage for a year or two and get some results. But 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I mean, it's a different mindset. So I did a bunch of opens, grinded out cold calls, just like every typical story, and it worked really well. I was on a team, started my own team. So my whole game then, at the time, and this still works, cold calling, buying paid leads, Zillow. I mean, it's always shifting what the best bucket is for each person. And for a while, that was working really, really well. And I started resting on my laurels. I started
making dough.
To be honest, I thought I was like the second Elon Musk. It was so foreign to me, the amount of money. And Granted, a lot of stuff falls in your lap when you're grinding, especially in a fast-paced market. You can really make yourself feel like you're something special, and you are. Everyone's special, but I think the number one mindset shift that I've had is just learning more humility.
Yeah.
And me being a big personality is difficult. I have a
Yes.
lot of ego. I want to have healthy ego, but when the market did shift, I'll be the first to admit that I kind of got my face kicked in.
Yeah.
Right. I was really comfortable. I was going through some large life changes with personal relationships, moving, reinventing myself. So there was probably a stint from probably 2 or 3 years in, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was just absolutely killing it. Every single month was basically a banner month, and I didn't give a solitary shit. I just kept on working, didn't care, buying new cars all the time. And it's kind of like the typical story. People, make a little bit of money, they kind of lose sight of who they are. And I wouldn't say that happened completely, but an ego adjustment, kind of a reassessment of who I am was needed. So I went through some shit for a while. I didn't have the best year last year. I got kicked down a little bit, and
I think not to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
You're not unique, man. I mean, I have seen it in this mortgage business.
Yeah.
I've seen it in the real estate business, to where success is a wicked deal. You start getting fat paychecks, and now it's all of a sudden the daily systems. I can't remember who I had talked to, interviewed, but I'm lucky enough to get to interview people like you. But he's saying that he just closed, it may have even been Brady, where he closed $1 million deal. And he's like, oh man, sweet, I'm good,
Yep.
And he came in and Tyler said, get to work.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are you talking about? I just had a huge deal. He said, get to work, right? And I think that we can fall into our hey-ho
Yep.
deal when you start bringing some paychecks in, right? A former partner of mine, Rolexes, Porsches,
Yep.
all of a sudden you go, whoa, now the market switched. With your mentorship, obviously, Daniel, is a great...
Daniel DeRoche, Parker
yeah,
Pemberton, Tyler Miller. I mean, all my friends.
How have they helped you?
So, geez. I mean, depends. If we want to wrap up where we were before, it's because that's such a deep question. So I had these, I kind of secluded myself. And when people tell you, because when you kick ass, there's going to be 40 loan officers on your Facebook page telling you how great of an agent you are. You're top producer, rock star, this and that. And if you don't know and you don't expect it, it does get to your head. And anyone that says it doesn't is fucking lying. And it's just like, at the end of the day, consistency will always win. That's kind of what I figured out, because I was like, when I started to spiral down a little bit and had a rough year, I was throwing different shit at the wall.
Yep.
Trying Zillow, trying this, not really tracking anything, doing whatever. And then I got to think, why did I kick ass my first couple of years? Because I was just doing more consistent income generating work day in and day out, no matter what, whatever that is. And I'm not going to go and say open houses, cold calling, Zillow, Realtor, Homes.com, referral companies, lenders. I mean, everything works.
Yep.
Because this business is as simple as it gets. You learn how to transact and provide value for your clients. You find clients, you identify the home, and you close it. That's literally it.
Right.
And how you do that is up to each individual person.
Yep.
So I had to go back and think, okay, how can I create a bulletproof business plan? Because clearly what I'm doing, I'm switching this and that. And honestly, I have the luxury as a solo agent. It's pretty easy for me to I flipped my entire business plan on its face, 8 months ago.
Right.
As teams, they're a little bit more dialed in. They're running their KPIs. I don't run detailed KPIs. I know about how many open houses it takes for me to acquire a customer. I know how many customers I need to close a deal. It's about it, And I got to thinking, let me preface this. So when I was really killing it and growing, it kind of got out of hand, where all I wanted to do, my identity was only growing. If I'm not growing and somehow closing more houses, regardless of what my net bottom dollar is, then I'm doing good. Then I got to think, what am I doing this for? I'm doing this to make money, to live my life.
Yep.
And it's pretty damn shallow. It was for me when my identity was my work, my identity was my money.
Right.
My identity was how many closings, what's your GCI, where are you ranking or whatever. It's just that's for everyone else. I want to make what I want to make for an income, And to be honest with you, I love this business that I've learned it in and out and I've had great mentors. But you have to have your eye on your own prize. What's important to you? Because if you get caught up in what everyone else is doing, it's really easy to lose yourself, and you end up down.
Amen.
You end up in the spaghetti, Mike.
Dude, I get it. I see it every day.
So I redialed in. I'm thinking, I've gained about 40, 50 pounds. I look like shit. And I was like, holy shit, I'm not consistent with that either. I thought I was. And sometimes it's cognitive dissonance. I don't know if you've experienced this, where you do something for so long well, and it's just like, it's just going to come automatic. It's just going to fall from the sky. And you slowly unravel, and it's like, who am I? I got to go back and create something where I'm wickedly consistent? What's it going to take? And I'm personally ADHD. It works good, but it's also kind of my worst enemy.
Nemesis.
I can bounce around. I love to talk. But, task switching and hyper-focusing and whatnot. So I got to think, I have to just have a set of parameters that's kind of bulletproof for me.
Yep.
So I love doing open houses. My idea is that you cold call to meet people. You meet people to sell houses.
Yep.
I prefer just to go and meet people because it's very low. What's the right word? It doesn't require a lot of energy for me to go and do 5 open houses a week.
Well, you got a personality.
Right. And everyone has to find their thing. That's why I say open houses, they work great. Everything works great if you're great.
If you do it consistently.
If you do it consistently and you're good at it.
Yeah.
I mean, so find your niche, find your thing, right? Everyone's different. I don't have a background here. I don't have a whole lot of friends here. Every friend here is a realtor, so that's not very helpful.
Right.
So the only way to meet people is call them, meet them, or open houses. And my mindset is I don't want to call the people to meet them. I want to meet the people, and I'm 100% transparent. I'm blessed to have people like, Durocher, Stockwell, Alex Boylan, Sarah Melby Thomas, Brent Peterson at Remax Results. All these homies that have solid listings week in and week out, and I get to hold them open. I hold my own listings open, and I've used and marketed those, and just use that to funnel in business. And I can go through and do a mock showing and say, hey, I'll be honest, I'm not the listing agent on this. I'd love to show you the property, give you my unbiased opinion as a mock showing.
Yeah.
At the end, if you're interested in talking about working with me, I'd love to earn your business. And if not, no hard feelings. And you do that to 100, 200, 300, 400 people, you'll have a massive clientele base eventually, not overnight.
What Nick is talking about is why I appreciate this cat so much, because it is easy to get out of the system, right? Whether it's working out, whether it's eating right, whether it's doing whatever your mojo is, it's easy to fall out of it. It takes a real man or lady, for that matter, to get back into the mode. And I give you props. I mean, you were one of the few people that I've interviewed that had these names of leaders or mentors or friends, as you call them, that are studs. I mean, Stockwells, DeRoches, all these
Parker,
guys.
Herman, Tyler, Taylor.
I mean,
their whole downline is stacked. I mean, I've got plenty of friends at other brokerages and whatnot.
Yes.
And they are true friends. Most of my clients end up being friends because I want to work. I've also found this is that don't bullshit your clients. Don't bullshit yourself. Just be yourself, because things come so much easier when you're working with your people. When you can be brutally honest with your clients and they know you're being honest and they know that things just come easier. Transactions are easier. Your life is less stressful versus trying to put a square peg in a round hole.
You're not putting a facade. You're
not
being
putting
you.
on a facade. That takes effort.
It
takes effort.
You closed a recent farm deal, which the post of that was about as cool as you get, because it was, thank you for giving me the opportunity not only to earn your business, but to become your friends.
Yeah, and it's 100% genuine.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I can say over 3/4 of the transactions, I mean, everyone this year so far, and we'll get into that, but 3/4 plus of my clients I acquire organically.
Yeah.
And I don't need a CRM to call them because I want to call them. We want to grab lunch.
Yep.
We want to, do whatever, grab a coffee, stay in touch, send pictures of each other's animals, or, just stay in touch on Facebook. It's a blast. And that's my personal brand.
But that's what makes you shine, man. Your personality, your youth, your energy is contagious. And I think that, I mean, I'll speak for myself. You know what I mean? I've met a lot of people in this business, right? And there's plenty of years between the two of us.
Yeah.
But I'm so comfortable with you that we can help one another, right?
100%.
And so do you feel that has your workout regimen transitioned into your business, do you think?
100%. Because those who lift weights and into bodybuilding, training, whatever, know that it can be the most frustrating thing. You'll start and you'll feel amazing for 20 days. You'll feel like you're kicking ass. Then it's not so fun. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 days going to the gym. I personally go every day. I don't lift weights every day, but I go every day. I lift heavy 5-6 days a week. And a lot of times it takes 3 to 6 months to really see much. You know? But that consistency, it builds that bone in you that never goes away.
Yeah.
And you know that, and it still happens, life, business, bodybuilding gains, fitness, anything is not linear. You'd probably agree. Even if you're a savage at it, it's not linear. So what does that teach us? It teaches us that no matter what, you just have to keep on doing it. And
consistent,
you have to
persistent.
stick with your training program. Jake's over there. I see him every single morning, and now I'm on the lookout for his stories, because if he doesn't put up a story, I'm going to text him and call his ass out.
Speaking of which, for all you in the audience, please comment, because we're going to have a flex off between Jake and Nick.
And
we're
Mike.
going to have a flex off. No, I'm not. I don't need to be going down on these pipes. But so if you want that, just let me know. We'll do that before the show ends. So
That's funny.
But it is the daily disciplines, right? I mean, you have to keep consistent. My mortgage world, your real estate world, 100%. It gets boring after a while.
Just like you do this. You do this week in and week out. And it's a genius idea. So what I've learned about myself and what I feel to be pretty true to, pretty applicable to most things, is find a way to make the hard stuff as easy as possible.
Yeah.
Find a way to make consistency easy as hell for you. And it's not everything. You don't need to make things hard.
Correct.
Life's already hard enough. Find what comes easy. Can I do? So I have a rule with myself. It was my goal. I was maybe going to hit 100 open houses in a year. Now I have a minimum of 2 a week, no matter what.
Nice.
And if I skip it, I got 4 the next week. It's just because it's easy. If you think doing 2 open houses is hard a week, go do 10 in a week for a month, and then go down to 2, and you'll think that you have a part-time job.
Right.
The reality is, as well as I do, even if you're not skilled at it, because, and also, I'll get back to this, even if you're not skilled at it, right, you're going to get skilled eventually.
It's an art.
It's an art, and it takes reps, right?
Yeah.
And I get hit up by a lot of agents and a lot of team leaders. They're like, well, I heard you're the king of open houses, and you just kill it off these open houses. And it's just like, yeah, because I do a shitload of them.
Yeah.
I didn't get good at open houses or selling. I don't have a particular sales tactic, other than being honest, educated. People do business with who they like, know, and trust.
Yep.
So if they don't know you have to be honest, you have to be likable, you have to be trustworthy, and you have to provide a clear, concise value to that client. A lot of my business growth didn't come from what I do in business. I mean, it's kind of deeply ingrained in me now, but it just came with personal growth.
Yeah.
How I treat people, how you come off, how good of a friend you are, how good of a person you are, and if you actually have good intentions. And when I started, this is a little thing I told myself, is that I'll win no matter what. I might go broke, I might do this, I might do that, and a lot of that stuff did happen.
Right.
But if I have good intentions and I'm persistent enough, you'll always pull through. So, yeah.
I think you nailed it, man. And it's super cool from our first interview to now. Again, the maturity blows me away.
Appreciate
you know what I mean? Because it is consistent. It is persistent. You got to be patient. You're used to making some dough quick when rates were down.
Yeah, I'm still not making what I used to make.
It ain't as easy. You know what I mean?
It's still not. It's still quite a bit more difficult. It's getting a lot easier because I'm getting a large database doing these open houses.
Yes,
I mean, I'm getting to the point where I'm getting referrals from open houses. And it's when you know you're going to win because you know you'll do what you need to do no matter what, whatever that is, it's a relief. So it's like, I might have a down month, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because I'll show up 20 times next month. I don't win every day. I win 2/3 of the days.
You and I have had plenty of conversations, real. with your mentors, have they had these kind of, or has it been you looking in the mirror saying, I don't like where I'm at, I want to become better? Who's kept you back on track?
Well, Mike, if knowledge was the key and the lacking piece in everyone's life, everyone would have six-pack abs and a couple $1,000,000 in the bank.
Amen.
You know how to get jacked. You know how to make $10,000,000.
Yep.
Everyone does. I mean, most people that are in the business and competent enough and want to learn, they have everything you need. Everything's free, But the missing part is just the consistency, just the dog in you.
Take that first step forward.
You got to, yeah, and it's hard. And I do feel bad for newer agents right now, but they shouldn't feel too bad about, it's hard. The market's
Everyone's
tougher
new in the
right now.
business.
It is what it is. If you can make it now, you'll make it through most things probably. But I would say that I knew a lot about my mentors. Like I got really good mentoring ever since I was 21. I was around literally the best. I got it. My ex's mother was a great mentor to me when I started. She referred me over to Jason Stockwell. I mentored under Stockwell.
Jason's the greatest.
And this was when I was 21, 22 years old. So I got, and I was so dialed in that I knew a lot. And I knew a lot young, and I was fortunate enough to learn a lot young. But what happens when you feel like you learn a lot and shit falls apart, right? You have to look in the mirror and really go back to the basics.
You're spot on. And again, we've rehashed on this. We can be our own worst enemy.
100%.
Right?
Self-sabotage is 100% real.
And the fun parts of life are fun, man. But the reality is that that's where I love the fact that you've got a base of people around you. Friends like myself, Stockwell,
Yep.
Jake even,
Yep.
who have so much respect for you that, it's okay to call a spade. Dude, let's go again. Jake does it to me all the time. He busts my nuts all the time saying, dude, who you calling? Get moving, fat ass. Do stuff. You know what I mean?
That's why
But that's what you need.
That's why I also started my fitness page.
Yeah.
Is because I was thinking, how am I going to make it so it's almost embarrassing for me not to be consistent?
Yeah.
And then that's my thing. I wanted it so bad. And I figured, well, if I'm embarrassed because I fell off, then I probably won't fall off. If I know that all the people that care about me are kind of like what Jake's doing, he probably does it for accountability to himself.
Yeah.
Halfway.
Yep.
And you get to remember why you started, who's watching you, why you're doing it, because you're going to get in, you're going to get in lulls with business, fitness, personal life. Life is up and down.
Please. I mean, plenty of them. So tell me about the open houses. What are you seeing in this market? I mean, is it, rates are rates, right? I don't really care. People don't care. Yeah, people don't care about the rates. It's about the house. What are you seeing buyers coming into these houses? Are they getting back to the point where they're going to start putting in no inspections, 30,000 over list price? What are you seeing?
Well, real estate is and always will be kind of works in micro markets. So the whole real estate market doesn't necessarily represent, Minnetonka to Eagan, Maple Grove, North Minneapolis. I mean, everything is a little bit different. And I don't know. I mean, we're seeing multiple offers and strong, aggressive buyers on these smoke show houses. If it's a smoking house and it's done well, it's presented right, it's marketed right, who you work with does matter. If you have a decent agent that presents it really well and prices it appropriately, it's absolutely burning off the market.
Yeah.
So I do a mix of everything down between $300,000 to $500,000, and I try to throw a couple mil or 2 mils in there a month just to, it's fun, right?
Everyone puts on their pants the same. Nick Wheeler, Joe Wheeler, sorry. I said, how do you do all these $1 million listings and big clients, et cetera? He says, Mike, here's the deal. Everyone puts on their pants the same way. They're just a person. And so your maturity, doing the open houses, being professional, they respect that as much as anything being 100%, real.
100%. Because I sold my first and only $1 million house 2020.
Yeah.
My second year license, I sold $1 million house, and I was pretty nervous, and it was a little out of my league.
Of course.
But now I've done quite a few $1, $2, and $3 million open houses, and got to know those people. And now you can just bump elbows and talk to them just like a person. But when you're not used to that, you're not used to people that live a different lifestyle completely, because they live a different life. They don't have the same
how
life
old
as
are you now?
27.
Yeah, 27. I mean, that's you're. But you're working underneath the people, Stockwells, we'll go through the list again, that are very, very successful. But you know what? They're you.
All in different ways.
They're you. You know what I mean?
And my idea was, like, I'm going to pick and choose. You go to these teams and go to these meetings, and we work with the NSA, with EXP. Ton of great people in there.
Yeah.
And each person can pick and choose what they want. So first and foremost, the old saying, your network is your net worth, is 110% true.
Yep.
Who you hang around with, you will be like a mimic no matter what. So if you have a bad network, if you have a less than desirable network, or if your network and your social circle brings you down at all, or they're always negative, you just can't have that.
No.
You have to have people that you aspire to be like, or you respect and appreciate something that they have out of their character.
Be real, man.
Be real. And then you can pick and choose. Like, there are certain things that I really love and respect out of Stockwell. There's certain things I really like out of, Daniel and Julie DeRoche. There's certain things like, okay, I think I'm going to try this, implement this. I see how they do that. So provide value to your inner circle, pick good friends, be a good friend, and then, it's a support team. Right now, I got such a vast support team. If I'm ever feeling down, I'll call 3, 4 of my buddies.
Yeah, good.
And all of a sudden, boom, turn your mindset around.
Yeah. And I applaud you for doing that, because honestly, it's a big deal, right? It's easy to go sideways. Mm-hmm. And we were talking on the last interview that I did that this husband and wife combo, she just got her ass kicked during the day. Just pissed, just by the end of the day, she's like, I've had it. I ain't doing anything. And she had a coaching call at 4:00. Her husband says, you need that coaching call more than ever right now, because you need to get brought back into the deal.
Yep.
Always bank on that, man. You got the best in the industry, willing to help you. And buddies like myself, or like I said, Jake, anybody, you got tons of people that continue to support you because we believe in you.
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah,
Likewise, you too.
No, it's good.
If you ever need a little energy, a little big Nick energy.
No, believe me, I do, man. We talk about it. I had a great month last month, but we start over again. Okay, now you start over again. Right. It's I've done almost 400 months of these starting overs. But
that's crazy.
I love it. You know what I
crazy.
mean? And it's the passion of helping people, and it's the same reason why you do your open houses, because you want to help people.
Yeah, and at this point, I have a roster of open house clients that you couldn't handpick a better group of clients.
Yeah, good.
And every open house, I average a client that I work with every 3 open houses. So it's not that pretty. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of driving around and screwing around, but I make it fun and easy. My motivation is I'm going to get my next, client like so-and-so that I absolutely love that sent me 7 deals.
Yeah.
That's right around the corner. And guess what? Boom, got it.
Nice.
And it happens, you just got to keep on keeping on, Mike.
Well, I truly appreciate you coming on again. This type stuff is so cool for me to be able to witness your transition, and I've been through it, man. I've been through the highs,
the ups and the
lows,
downs, and the rounds.
Tom Ellis, who's the owner of Edge, been through the same stuff. We all have.
Yep.
All you can do is grow.
And dial in.
And that's up to you.
And it's here's a good one I just came to mind. Successful people, you don't need to mimic what they do. Mimic what they don't do.
Yep.
They don't conduct themselves a certain way. They don't eat certain foods. They don't go out to certain clubs. They don't drink a certain amount. And especially in a business surrounded by fun, parties, happy hours, whatever, what you don't do will end up defining you.
I know so many people that love you. Melissa Clausen being one of them. And these people respect you. You know what I mean? And that's because of you being you. Not you being some facade out here, hey-ho.
Yeah.
But they respect you as a human. So, I mean, you're a good human.
Appreciate that.
And that's what buddies are made of. And just keep being you, dude.
Yeah, I mean, provide value to people, be a good friend, and just be honest and be yourself. That's all I can say.
Take that to heart, folks. I think that Nick exemplifies so many of you sitting out there, because you're all nodding your heads going, I know. We just did an interview where a lady a year ago went into a lull because she felt like she had life by the balls, and all of a sudden it strangles you. So consistent, persistent, but most importantly, stay humble. You know what I mean? And I think Nick...
when I felt cockier than people that I knew were making over 10 times what I was doing, I sat down and I was thinking, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
Who the hell do I think I am? I'm just a dude.
Yeah.
I'm just a dude. People that make, $5 million a year, just a dude. They got their own problems. They get sick. They got family issues, relationship issues, drinking problems. Everyone has their own host of issues.
Of course.
And I mean, I think, I'm reading Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday.
Yeah.
Trying to practice stoicism, as well as what's really transformed for me is my faith. I got back in touch with God middle of last year.
Good.
And as a Christian, kind of fell off back again. It's changed my life quite a bit. That's my personal belief system and whatnot, of course. But that's changed. It's changed a lot. It's because whenever you feel lost, you can reference the Word of God.
Yes.
And you'll get humbled real quick. You don't need to spend too long to get humbled reading the Bible. So
I love it. I just went to church with my daughter and her family yesterday, and I'd gotten out of it for a while. Yeah. It felt good. It felt good.
It feels good, right?
Yeah. So I applaud you for that, and keep hanging with Stockwell. The dude is as straight as it gets, and a good man.
He's as straight as it gets and as squirrely as it gets at the same damn time, and it's pretty entertaining.
That's fine.
That's perfect.
You can all have fun, right?
Oh, yeah.
His business gets, you're not going to be business.
He's really good at what he does. The people that I know that are really successful are so genuinely themselves.
Yeah.
That they embrace their quirks. They embrace that they're a little goofy or a little this or a little fast or a little, whatever it may be. They embrace it.
Here's what I'm going to tell you, too, that I witness with these guys. They're extremely successful, but yet they're humble enough to offer their experience to you.
Right.
That is priceless in and of itself.
It's cool to see. And it's weird. I have a little bit of imposter syndrome because I'm getting more people lately than ever reaching, oh, hey, can I mentor underneath you at open houses or this or that?
Yeah.
And I mean, the answer is yes. If you do, hit me up on Instagram, Nick Weis Real Estate. But the reality is, you can find most of your success just being consistent. I don't want to sound rude, but maybe do 20 open houses before you ask to do it with me. Because if you haven't done one in a month, and you're like, well, I just got to get going or whatever, I'm not going to be able to tell you anything outside of just, you can watch what I do and how I conduct myself. That's fine. Would love to help anyone that slides in and wants to come and help do an open house. But the reality is that I have a good success rate with them just because I do so damn many of them, and I've learned how to sell being congruent to myself. Find your niche, find your people, find your thing, and just roll with it and do a bunch, and then make adjustments as needed.
Nick said it best last time, right? Because where he appreciated the time of these people, he offered to spend 15 minutes with them, but he also said, I'll spend another 15 minutes helping you do the dirty work, just to help you because I appreciate your time. If you need him, he's here. But if you got to drop off some open house signs on corners, help out. You know what I mean? That's where you learn from the best. And
it's fun.
This cat's one of the best at the open houses, and as a man himself. And I, again, thank you for being a Realtor of the Week, buddy.
Thanks for having me, brother. It's an honor.
It's always solid. And Jake, what was the vote? Are you guys having a flex off, or what's happening? You're not having a flex off
maybe
today?
Next
All right.
time. Maybe next time.
We'll do that on the third interview. But anyways, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you tremendously, and thank you guys all for watching today. It's tremendous to have you all on board. Realtor Connect. Tell your friends. Tell your other agents. Instagram and YouTube. Please follow us. Without you guys, we're nothing. So thank you, and have a good day.